Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday's Talking Town. Welcome one, welcome all, whether you're watching live or on catch-up. If you're watching on catch-up, don't forget FTA comment for that algorithm. I hope you enjoyed your Sunday or whatever day it is you're watching. But we are live across the internet, and we really need your thoughts this afternoon following Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1, or to put it correct term, Southampton 1, Ipswich Town 1. An away point, Sam Morsy, 95th minute equaliser. And I want to hear from you, as I've just said. So let us know in the live chat your thoughts. There'll be a link a little bit later on, should you so wish to come on the platform and have your say. After all, it's your opinion, and who else can say it but you? We've got Colin Plum in our chat saying away points are absolutely vital in the Premier League. I said during the week that I would take a point, and if we won, brilliant. It's life. We move on to Villa. End of. Do you agree with that? Streaker says another great road trip. So yeah, whatever you're thinking. I know there was some comments on the match reaction show yesterday that have gone down well, and some have said, "Oh, it's too negative." But that's the fan opinion. You know, that's your opinion. It's your right to say it, as we do every single week. So whatever you're feeling, positive, otherwise happy, otherwise, come on and have your say, or get it in the live chat. And don't forget, we are partnered with SolarWise Roofing and Building. Be wise this winter or autumn and winter. Give Shane at SolarWise a call for a roof check, other building services, other roofing services, maintenance, repair, replacement, all of that wonderful business. They cover the whole of East Anglia, but the number is 01206 628 544. That's 01206 628 544. SolarWise Roofing and Building Services Limited. Be wise this autumn. Right, joining me this afternoon is, of course, the one, the only, the man with a contact book much bigger than probably even Eddie Hearn's. It is Matt Phillips. Welcome in, Matt. How you doing? Good, thanks. All right, a bit tired. I was couldn't get to sleep last night. I was buzzing over the boxing and Morsy's last minute winner, of course. Let's not forget that. But did everyone watch the fight last night? Yeah, yes, we did. And they obviously had the heavyweight clash beforehand, which we'll get into some in-depth reaction in just a second. But obviously the boxing, AJ, Dubois, AJ. You know, I was watching it. You were watching it. All the talking heads were saying AJ in the fourth, AJ in the fifth. This is going to be, you know, AJ victory. And I said to you in the WhatsApp group, Daniel Dubois knockout, it's coming. You heard it here first. Yeah, and he delivered. He delivered, Matthew Phillips. Yeah. It was a beatdown, wasn't it? And it was like 4 knockdowns again, like when Joshua lost to Ruiz in Madison Square Gardens, his first defeat. That was 4 knockdowns. Same again last night. So I don't know where AJ goes from here. No, me neither. And obviously Fury watching at ringside. And I said to you this morning, there was 2 losers last night: Anthony Joshua, but also Tyson Fury, because you know a little bit of money went up in smoke when AJ hit the deck and lost that fight. Because obviously, you know, you say it's still a big demand for a Fury AJ. I tell you, as a casual boxing fan, or for a casual boxing fan, I think that demand now is a little bit less, because you're looking at 2, well, you know, losers in the sense of they've, you know, Usyk beat Fury, got that rematch to come, I'm sure. Fury, AJ's now lost this fight. He's lost against Louise. He's lost, like, there's now perceived about him. Do you feel? Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, yeah, because you haven't got the undefeated Sheen anymore, have you? I mean, look, you're going to get Usyk Fury on December the 21st, hopefully. Hopefully there won't be any injuries or cancellations like last time. See what happens in that, and then it might give you a roadmap of if AJ is to come back and who he could fight, or if he even does come back. I don't know. He looked a bit of a shot fighter to me last night, so. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, shout out Usyk, who was there, dressed like a champion. See Conor McGregor? He was set behind Fury. That was a hell of a shirt. I could imagine you in that, Martin. Yeah, I was more eyeing up Usyk and thinking, I wonder if they do that in Primark. I wonder if I can get one of those when next time I'm shopping. Do you know what I mean? Let's see what Christmas brings. It looked great. All in one piece. Oh, that is style personified. But yes, that was the boxing. Sorry we didn't do a talking knockouts on Friday. It was planned, but family life got in the way. Yes, family stuff. Yeah. Trying, you know, just that routine of life, Matt. Struggling to get back into it after the holidays. So apologies if you were looking forward to that. We'll do one again before the next big fight. But let's move it on to the other heavyweight clash of the afternoon: Southampton, Ipswich. Now, heading in, Matt, this was a game many people sort of, had marked as a win, as a game, you could get 3 points from, get yourself up and running in the win column. Southampton are going to be a side that's going to be down there. All of those sort of sentences and words we heard heading in resulted in a point. We've not spoken really about the game because obviously the boxing was on and that was more of our conversation. So what are you thinking and feeling after that 95 minutes?
Positives and negatives, really, I suppose. I mean, like, I agree with everyone else. I mean, a point on the road, I think, is good. And then if you look at that as a bit of a bigger picture, we're undefeated in 3 in the Premier League.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose the negative of that, of course, is we still haven't won a game. And to be honest with you, there was aspects of yesterday where I was thinking we looked like a bottom 3 team.
Yeah.
Sorry if that upsets anybody. I mean, I'm just trying to call it as I saw it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, let's go back to the positives. What was it last season? 31, 32 points that we garnered from losing positions, and we're up and running on that in the Premier League now. I mean, we kept going until the end, and that was really one of the catalysts of why we got promoted last season, wasn't it? That 31, 32 points, whatever it might be, that we got on the board from where we had a bit of a losing deficit, and we did it again yesterday, albeit against a team I think Southampton will probably get relegated. I don't think 1 point from 5 games is going to be if you look at that across the case of the season, they look like a team that could go back down. I just hope we're not in that mix as well. But I did feel like we looked like a bottom 3 team yesterday. But the positive is we are undefeated in 3. But I don't know where I don't know where the goals are going to come from. We've discussed this last week, didn't we? Where were the goals going to come from?
You did, yeah. You called us toothless on Wednesday's match preview show. You still buying into that a little bit?
Well, we created more yesterday, but against lesser opposition. And I think if you compare the Brighton game to the Southampton game, what was our half-time passing stats at Brighton? 82. Yesterday it was like 211. It's almost 3 times as much, which shows you the difference between playing a Brighton away and a Southampton away. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the luxury of playing Southampton away every week. In more intents and purposes, you're more likely to face Brighton-ish styles a level below that kind of opposition, I think. So yes, I do worry where the goals are going to come from. I mean, we did say in the chat, didn't we? We did think Ipswich could get back in the game, but whether or not we had 2 goals in us, well, we didn't in the end, did we?
No, we didn't.
Had to wait to the 95th.
Well, I was going to say, right, that's the 95th for the one we did get.
To get one. I just don't know where the wins are going to come from. I'm desperate for us to win a game, but look, we've got Villa coming up. West Ham don't look very good at home, do they?
No, they're struggling a little bit, aren't they, West Ham? That's a fair one.
But still quality players. Then we've got the international break. Then Everton on the horizon. Let's hope Sean Dyche is still in charge there. Like you said previously, Ryan, when teams aren't doing very well, they tend to ditch their manager, and then their first game happens to be against us, typically.
Manager bounce, yeah. I've just tweeted out that we're live, so if you're on Twitter, retweet it. I've also put it on Facebook, so share it on there. That's what I was doing while also listening to Matt. For those that are watching and wondering why is he continuously looking down, just sharing it across the social. So if you're on there, do go and share. But I do agree with you. We're fashioning chances. That's the positive. We are creating the chances, whether they're offside or not. We are working ourselves into position. So, as I said Wednesday, I still think it's a little bit too early to say toothless and put that sort of big word context to it. But yes, goals could be an issue. We are in the Premier League. The quality is obviously much higher than anything we've faced last year and certainly 2 years ago. But I'm struggling with this 1-1 draw because I'm struggling to put it into context of you can be right, but you can be wrong, or you can be right about both things, because obviously the 1-1 draw away at Southampton, in the context of the game for me, Matt, 90 minutes, 95 minutes, it's great. It's one in the sense of if you can't win it, don't lose it, and we didn't. Whether you score in the 95th or the first minute or the 55th minute, whatever, we didn't lose the game. So within the context of that 90 minutes, you look back and you go, okay, that's a good point because we didn't lose the game. But then you take the context of the wider season, and this is where I'm struggling to balance the two, because obviously we're in for a dogfight. Many people in the summer said, "Oh, we'll be mid-table," but you get the feeling as the games start to unfold that we're going to be in a dogfight. We're going to be in that bottom 6, 7. That's where probably we're going to be. Southampton are also going to be in that. They're the places you have to for me, go and get 3 points, because if you're going to survive, Southampton just come up with you. They're going to be, you would have thought, an easier opposition than a side that's already in the Premier League, like a Palace, who's also currently down there with us, or even an Everton, who have got, years of Premier League experience, years of quality. Yes, they're not having a great time at the moment. But, you just feel like Southampton away, it didn't have to be a win, but they're the games you have to eye your 3 points. They're the games you have to eye up winning. So I'm balancing that context.
Yeah.
That makes
I get the logic. I agree with you on the logic, but I suppose that then puts the pressure on you to win the game at Portman Road when it comes back round.
This is it. Yeah.
Because then you've taken I think if you could take 4 points against the teams that are going to be in the bottom 6, then that's a good return.
It's nice.
I
like it.
I did the Anfield Wrap, the Liverpool show podcast in the week, and I was chatting to Neil, who runs it, off camera, and he was saying he thought that what he'd seen of us on Matchday, Sky, whatever, he thought we had enough in us to stay in the division. But the big question is, he said, you've got to ask yourself, where are you going to get 8 or 9 wins from? I don't see where we're going to get 8.
Which is where you'd be eyeing up Southampton, both home and away. Obviously, it didn't happen yesterday, but you'd been eyeing up Leicester, and just sort of to finalise my thoughts, and we'll unpack it more, and we'll get into the individual players of the game. The wider context of the season, we won't know until May. We won't know until 38 games have been played whether yesterday was a good point, which it was in the context of the game, but of the season, was it a good point? Was it really too dropped, etc., etc. But 8 or 9 wins is really the target, and you've got to, because it doesn't get any easier. This is also where I'm coming from in this. Like in the Championship, maybe you'd play I don't know, let's say for example a Parachute club, a Leeds, get beat 4-1 at Ellen Road or whatever, but you'd have somebody the week after that realistically you could win. Whereas every single shark in this division is looking at Ipswich as the goldfish swimming in the pond and going, that's our win next week. Everton are looking at us going, that's our win, that's our get well game. West Ham are looking at us, that's our get well game. So you've got to balance that and battle against that, right?
No, I totally agree with that. We've used to being, big. We were the big fish, to keep the sea analogy. We were the big fish in League One.
Yeah.
Then we were the surprise package in the Championship, but and I think we had unpredictability around that season last year. No one really knew what to expect from us, and we blew teams away. Look, we scored 92 goals, was it 93 goals? And so, as I said to the guys on the Anfield Wrap, I said, look, we've scored nearly 200 goals in 2 seasons, but I just don't see, if you're going to be conceding, then you've got to score 2 goals in order to get you the 3 points. That seems quite a tough task for us.
You're battling with that, and you're battling with the goals. You're really concerned with that.
I love the journey we've been on, the back-to-back, and we've gone from the doldrums to the Premier League in quick-fire fashion, and that's all down to the ownership, McKenna, Ashton, and I like being in the Premier League. I like it. This is where we should be, and I want us to stay there. But we're only going to stay there if we get the wins, and I'm just struggling to see where they are. But look, we're only assessing this on paper at the moment. Who knows? This time next week we could be beating.
And as I said, you won't know within the context of the season what it was until 38 games have played. But in the context of yesterday, it's a fantastic point. As I said, if you can't win it, don't lose it. We didn't lose it. We battled. We weren't at our best. I said on the TikTok reaction show video I did. It wasn't a vintage Ipswich Town. It wasn't a vintage McKenna style of game. But we battled. We gritted. And we kept ourselves in the game. And I've got some comments coming in. We've got, obviously, Michael says here, we'll take a point, obviously, but was it deserved? I'm putting it down to a bad day at the office, but a point is a point.
Well, who cares if it was deserved? I mean, that's not reflected in the league.
I would say it is deserved, though. It is deserved because you did everything you had to do to keep yourself within that one goal. And they had chances. We had chances.
We made the keeper work, didn't we? We made Ramsdale work. I mean, look, the Amari shot was fantastic, wasn't it? It was a really good save as well. We made the, but then again, of course, we really should have been 2-0 down at half time. Archer hits the post, doesn't he? And then the luck, it bounces into Murity's hands. But I mean, let's be a lucky team. People used to say that about us last season, and now Ipswich are so lucky. Nothing wrong with that. I'll take that all day long.
You should see social media after the Premier League tweet of goal. Sam Morsy, assist none, 95th minute. It's like, they're doing it in the Premier League. They're doing it again. Lucky switch and all that.
I'll take it all day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it was a well-deserved point from our perspective. There's lots of positives to take from the game. Lots of positives.
I think when we look back at when we were talking in the summer, weren't we? We're looking at clubs. Who could we replicate? Who had a kind of a season that we could replicate? And certainly Brentford was one. I think they finished on 38 points. Actually, that wouldn't have been enough back in the day, would it? It used to be the magic number was 40, wasn't it? It seems to be well below that now. But they were 5 wins at home, 5 away, and the rest they picked up with draws. So it's 39 points, isn't it? Yeah. 15 home, 15 away, 9 withdrawals. That's what we want to look at. But I don't know where we would get 5 away wins from. I really don't. I mean, I think if you're looking at that as a kind of ratio of success, you'd be looking at winning away at Southampton and actually beating them home and away, which we did last season, of course.
Within the context of the wider league, yeah. Phil says so. I'll say it again. Last season, it took Bournemouth about 9 games to really get going, and they did very well. Kev says it's amazing how one goal can make a person's tiredness and painful shoulder because of a work situation. Look after yourself, Kev. Like myself yesterday, completely disappear for a short while and enough to scream the car out. Absolutely, Kevin. Don't forget, you can give Freddie a call at Stowmarket Osteopaths, 01449
Bournemouth's a good.
Kev.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Bournemouth's a good one, but of course they brought in that Unai from Getafe in the Turkish striker from Getafe in Spain in January, which allowed Kiefer Moore to come to us, you might recall. So they did strengthen, and I think we're going to have to. But I mean, what kind of caliber of striker you can? Well, Bournemouth got a good one there in Unai, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, what caliber of striker Ipswich can attract in January if you're in a relegation dogfight? I mean, there's a question mark around that, isn't there?
Well, yeah, because obviously, because players are looking past the 6 monts of the season and saying, what's going to happen what's going to happen here. But we know they're in the market, for a striker in the summer. Several. We've got lots of comments in today's show as well as yesterday's show in regards to the front four. Not particularly Delap or Hurst, but the front 3 behind. So let's sort of drill into that because we've got some comments here. Jeffrey says Smolix number 10, Amari right wing, rotate with Burns, who for me has done nothing. That's Jeffrey's comment.
I'm not a million miles away from that myself, to be honest with you.
Let's sort of break that down and unpack that a little bit then. Obviously, currently you've got Amari central, Smolix left, Burns or Ogbenny on the right. What's the right balance? Because are we striking it? Is it happening? What's your preferred? Because Amari was part of that wonderful journey, and comes with that attachment, with that fairy tale feeling, that love, that warmth. But he is also a multi-million-pound signing now. People are talking about it.
Well, we wanted him, didn't we? We wanted him, and we got him.
I wanted him. I love him. But are we getting the best out of him in that number 10 role? Would it be better where he played last year on the right? What's your thoughts on that one? Because lots of comments coming in about Amari and that front 3. Yeah.
You get but whatever Ipswich fan you're talking to, I think you get a different vibe off of Amari because some people are saying, "Oh, he's definitely a number 10." And as Mike, Mike said on the show yesterday, he didn't think he was. I don't think he is either, particularly. I mean, where he did play number 10 was like in games against Millwall, didn't he? That were just like cannon fodder for us. What was it, 4-0, 4-1 down there last season? Can't remember. I prefer him in that kind of role we saw against Hull, where he was kind of cutting in from the flanks. Oh, well, as you saw yesterday, cuts in, doesn't he? Cuts in inside, hits a left foot shot, and Ramsdale has to make an elite save.
Is that his best in those situations, though, for me?
I think so. And then you're seeing Smodix on the left-hand side of that free. I don't really like him in there. I mean, I'm just looking at his heat map yesterday. He actually played quite centrally, if you look at the...
Well, that left wing doesn't it, traditionally?
Yeah.
Because you got Davis, who's more of the left threat.
So are we saying... I'd have to watch the game back, to be honest with you. In all honesty, I only watched the 90 minutes. I mean, are we saying that Smodix and actually Amari were kind of playing 2 10s behind Delap?
Yes, that's generally how it works, Matt. Yeah,
that's probably what it was, wasn't it? I just prefer him going out wide and cutting back in. I think that he gives you the pace there. Because we drew the foul out of that Taylor, didn't we? When he took Lallana out and got a yellow, and he got an earful from Lallana, didn't he?
He did.
I would like to have seen someone like an Benny or Amari going over to that in the second half and kind of put this on the Discord. Try and draw the second yellow out of him, then they go down to 10. Then you have got a chance, to try and get the equaliser and go on and win the game because obviously it was 1-0 at that time. But yes, that's the conundrum, I think. I mean, does Smodix want to play on the left-hand side? I mean, we'd have to go back and look at all the goals he scores for Blackburn, but I think he was playing in that 10 on.
Well, it's a hybrid role, isn't it? But it's a hybrid role, isn't it? That left 10. It's more of a tucked in, inverted 10 with Davis, which works against or can work. We've seen it work against the sides that are similar quality to you.
Okay, he ran centrally against Man City to go 1-on-1. He's not really had a chance like that since, has he?
No, Amari, for me personally, and that's all I can give you as my personal opinion. Amari, for me, I prefer him on the right, where he's able to go. Where he's able to take a fullback either way, because he can go to the byline. We've seen it, or he can or he can cut inside. And you always hear Gary Neville, Carragher, and co. always talk about wingers, and always talk about you know, you've got to take the fullback one way than another, because then he doesn't know. Then he's guessing. He hasn't got a clue where you're going. And those type of players are very dangerous. Whereas a Jack Clark, more of a, you know, again, on that left side, can do the very similar thing. Go to the byline, can cut himself in. And he just caused fullbacks headaches because they haven't got a dicky bow where you're going. They haven't got a clue. Centrally, just stat-wise, this is purely stat-wise, you know, are you getting enough from him? I don't know, you know, because you've got expected goals 0.39, expected assists 0.25. You know, I haven't got an opinion on that. They're just the stats. And lots of conversation are coming in. And I didn't expect it yesterday, if I'm honest, Matt, in that match reaction show, where that would be the conversation that goes. But as always with this show, we follow what our chat want to talk about. And it seems that front three and the balance. But the question then I put to you, Matt, if you see Amari as a right winger, you're then overstocked with right wingers, because you've got Burns or Benny, Hutchinson. Yes. You know, but I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on that balance. I really would.
You were saying to me yesterday, I mean, look, the team you put up on Wednesday evening and whenever we did the show was pretty much spot on, wasn't it? Other than one.
Yeah, Phillips was injured, so
so you would have got it correct. You'd have got it correct then if it hadn't been for the injury. I thought this is what McKenna should have done. I thought Clark would start, and I said that on the Southampton show I was on as well. I thought Clark would start on that left hand side. I thought we'd see Smodics in at the 10, and I thought we'd probably see Benny. Actually, you've paid decent money for him, nigh on 10 million.
Yeah, I like Benny. I really rate him from what I've seen.
He's just got the pace, hasn't he? He's got the pace, which is also a great weapon from the bench. So I can understand the thinking behind that as well. And I thought maybe Amari would bring you the weapon of pace off the bench as well. But, you know, Kieran went with what he... Kieran's the expert.
Let's flip it, right? Let's flip it. We've played... we flip it. For many fans were saying the season starts at Fulham, right? So you have to immediately take the Liverpool Man City games and chuck them out the window and say they don't exist. It's 3 games into a season. It's far too early to be assessing.
You're undefeated in that season, then, if you're saying that.
You're undefeated in that season. It's far too early to be assessing, judging, saying this player's no good in that position, this player's no good in that position. It's 3 games into a season. So if you took it in through that lens, far too early to be even sort of having that conversation, right?
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean, look, because we're fans, aren't we? So we're always looking at the bigger picture, and we can be fickle around players and all that kind of thing. I mean, look, as the season progresses and we get, you know, into the winter fixture list, and we already know that December is 6 or 7 fixtures, I think. So where we've got the luxury of playing once a week at the moment, December is going to be hectic. With that is going to come injuries. So Kieran's hand will be forced on that free at some point. And then maybe out of that will come, you know, an attacking 4 that he feels comfortable with going into the second half of the season, potentially. But I just wonder if we, you know, are we getting the best out of those players? You know, you see the best of Amari against Hull last season in the 3-3, scores 2 worldies, cutting in from the flanks.
Yeah.
And yesterday cuts in from the flank and has a shot. That seems to be the position for him. I think if you went back and looked at Blackburn's stats last season, I think a lot of probably Smodic's goals come in set quite centrally. I mean, he's got a goal in the Premier League already. The run was a through ball from Johnson. He's running in at number 9 centrally role.
And the chances yesterday were central chances.
Yeah.
6-yard box.
But he had to header himself, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, I think that would have been, VAR would have called that back, wouldn't they?
But you're finding him in that central and making those little dangerous opportunities. And that's something McKenna will have to figure out. And as I say, 3 games into a season, if you discount the 2, which many fans were doing before the season. But if you count them, obviously Smolix has got his goal in the middle. He's got chances in the middle. So that's something, I really want your opinion on this afternoon at home watching. Whether you're live or on catch up. If you're on catch up, drop it in the comments. If you're live, got the live chat box and you can come on the show and have your say. I'd really love to hear what you are all thinking at home and feeling about that balance, because that's something you obviously want to talk about. Phil says Clark and Broad on the left, the Lappenhurst up top, Burns have been on the right, and Amari and Smolix in the number 10 role. Hashtag simples.
Broadhead's a good story, right? Broadhead's a good shout to us. He's going to come back like a new signing for us, I think.
Love Broady.
Because there's some players that are out of sight, out of mind at the moment. Like Chaplin's been our top scorer the last 2 seasons. Not even in the conversation.
I'm shocked at that, games. I'm shocked at that, to be honest. We've not seen more of him yet.
That doesn't sit well with me. That is he now out of the mix for starting berths? And for what reason is he not in the mix, having scored so many goals over the last 2 seasons? Okay, I know that's in the Football League, but then Smodics is getting an automatic start at the moment, having scored all his goals. Where? in the Football League, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems odd that Connor has fallen out of the thing. I mean, look, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Might be other things going on, but it just seems odd to me that now we don't even consider Connor Chaplin one of my favourite players at town. Over the last few seasons,
My favourite player. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Knows, really popular with the fans. Knows where the goal is. Integral to getting us promoted. Doesn't seem to be on the radar for starting games at the moment. And that seems weird to me.
I'll counter that by saying, the level around him has risen, and you've got some real quality players now in the building. Jack Clark, Schmodix being one. How good Chaplin was last year, Schmodix was better. Amari is now your player. You spent big money on Amari. Well, I say big money. It turns out to be like sort of a pebble in the ocean compared to our other market spends. But at the time, it was big money. You've got, what surprises me, as when I say, I'm surprised at that, it's just because of how McKenna is the manager. He likes to, particularly early in the season, he sort of favours or shows loyalty to those that have got him to the party. Like you've got a comment here, for example, JB, not sure why Burns is still starting over Benny. But which is a conversation you can have because obviously Benny's got big money. But you've got, I just feel, we've always seen McKenna sort of trust the players that got him to the party to start with, which is why I'm surprised that Chaplin hasn't featured more, because he's obviously someone who got used to the party, but clearly isn't seen as that starter anymore next over Amari, which I can make sense of, because Amari is young, development, big money. Like Hurston Delap. I know Hurst has been injured. I know, so obviously that clouds that conversation.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we've been down that pathway before. You remember Broadhead and Chaplin didn't start in the 0-0 at Bristol Rovers. Going back to League One.
That's a long time ago.
That feels like a different lifetime, doesn't it?
It really does.
But
Right.
I mean, but I suppose you've got to. I suppose you want some kind of consistency, don't you? As well. I mean, there's nothing.
Wasn't he vice captain at one point as well, Connor? Like, I got the feelings. Yeah,
captain the team against Wimbledon, didn't he, in the League Cup back in August?
As a Connor Chaplin fan, my fantasy team's named after Connor Chaplin.
Yeah,
it's broke my heart.
I mean, Trevor says it.
I love watching him play.
Is he out of the picture now? We don't know. I don't know. Here's one for East England. Ask in the press conference. There's enough of them.
I'll write to Mark Ashton. I'll email Mark Ashton. Hi, Mark. Just a quick question regarding selection.
We could get him on the phone. We've got questions for you, Mr. Ashton. Where's Chaplin? But I mean, I think the beauty of it all is, isn't it, that you can forge partnerships, and you're seeing that a little bit now with O'Shea and Greaves. I mean, I suppose we'll come to that in a minute.
But again, right? Again, with Connor, my heart breaks not seeing him more, and there's reasons why, and I get him. McKenna is also a god, so whatever McKenna does and says, you have to go with, because he's wanted that.
Yeah.
But man, I spent 3 weeks of my little life really bigging up the Wolfie Greaves partnership. Literally on every single video you saw me, I told you this is a partnership that will be the whole season, and they're fantastic. And then suddenly he's not there no more, and my heart's like cut in two, broke. Because poor Wolfie, has he deserved to not? I mean, I don't know if he's injured. We've not seen, we've not heard. I imagine he's not, but again, I'm not.
Is it the same argument as to why Smodix and Co are starting over Connor Chaplin? Is it because you've spent 15 million on Dara O'Shea, and he's an international player. He's captained West Bromwich Albion. He's had X amount of appearances in the Premier League for West Brom and Burnley. And I think why
you say international appearances, which is spot on. But if Wolfie could qualify for Ireland or Wales or Scotland or any number of nations, would he have also been in that international player? Do you feel?
Maybe. Don't know. Yeah, good point. Very good point. I mean, you only got to look at the makeup of the Ireland team against England at the start of the month. Yeah. And it was a real mix of kind of like Liverpool's reserve goalkeeper, Kelleher, in goal. Then you got Dara in there, haven't you? Got Benny on the wing. So there's a real mix of kind of Championship, Premier League experiences. So maybe, yeah. I mean, you get that with the smaller nations. Not
you
like
went there, not me. I was trying to put it tactfully.
The smaller nations, which they are. But yeah, good point. But the point I'm making is you're not really. I mean, look, Craig's got a good point. Is it the price of progress?
Yeah,
guys like Chaplin, Wolfton, and Luongo will be overtaken. I think maybe there was an expectation that Luongo probably would get overtaken, given I think he's at the end of his career. But Wolfenden and Chaplin's only got minutes. Only started against Liverpool. He hadn't started a game since. I don't think. I'm happy to be corrected on that.
Big up, Colin. Greece for England.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing that, yeah, he will be.
But you need some consistency in the side, don't you? Going back to my point I was trying to make about 5 minutes ago. You need some consistency in the side because it's different trying to form partnerships on the training ground than in the cut and thrust of a Premier League fixture at a sold out St Mary's. I mean, that's where that's where the real bonding comes forward, isn't it? You're coming through games where, you've fought to the final whistle and you've all eked out a draw like we did yesterday. And I think with that, when you've got those partnerships on the pitch, then with that comes a little bit more of a bonding that takes you forward into even bigger games, I think. So it seems to me that probably Connor and Wolfie are going to be on the periphery moving forward, I think. Because I think
it's a group game. But it is a group game. And we saw it last year, particularly with the subs. And you'll see it again.
And injuries coming forward as well. I mean, look, Connor's chance may come with an injury to somebody.
Yeah, but exactly. But it is a, particularly under McKenna, it's a big group game. It's an us thing. It's not an individual thing. It's an us. And you're going to see that rotation. You'll see at times Wolfie coming back into it. As Frank says, what about Cam Burgess? But I think the level, no disrespect whatsoever to Cam Burgess, I think the level now has risen where, they are better. Whether you agree with the O'Shea inclusion over Wolfie or not, those three probably are better defenders at this level than Cam Burgess. Again, we've not seen him, so I can't really say with a matter of fact that's the truth.
Burgess didn't really have a great game against Wimbledon, though, did he? I mean, he was culpable for the goals, I think, and we're desperate to see him do well because he's part of this team that's taken us on the back-to-back promotions. But he didn't help himself there, I don't think, and I think he's going to have to be content in sitting in Greaves' shadow until Greaves is not available to play for whatever reason.
So something else, we invite you to have your say on in the live chat or click the link, or if you're watching on Catch Up, leave a comment. Again, Wolfie, O'Shea, and Greaves. Obviously, Greaves, not Greaves. You don't touch Greaves. You leave Greaves where he is. He's going to play for England. He's the best thing since sliced bread, as far as I'm concerned.
His work cut out yesterday, didn't he, with that Archer? I mean, twice that Archer went through Greaves, no shade, didn't he?
Yeah, but man, as a Sunday morning centre half, and that's all I was, ladies and gentlemen. So again, take what I say with a huge pinch of salt, and then get more salt. But I absolutely love watching Greaves.
Get down the greeting station.
oh my days, Matt. As a centre half myself,
he looks good. He does look.
Oh, he's a Rolls Royce. He's cool. He's calm. I'm even considering growing my hair out and getting a hairband.
Really? This is unbelievable.
Falling in love with a centre half, and his name's Greaves. I mean. Jeez, what a player.
We did mention him in our picks to bring in. So, I mean, I'm glad that's one we got right. But, yeah, I mean, look, there was lots of being said about him at Hull, wasn't there? I mean, everyone was waxing lyrical about him there. And West Ham got linked with him early in the window. Luckily, we got in there and managed to do the business. So, yeah, he looks fantastic for us.
As does Delap. Again, real tough game up there for him at the moment, isolated at times. But I would try and look like Delap, but I don't think I can bulk up as much as him. That he is a stocky, well-built centre forward, and I wouldn't like to battle him on a Saturday afternoon. You're going to know it. You're going to feel it walking off that pitch, battling.
Yeah,
Delap.
Exactly. Well, what was it? Kovacic at Manchester City. He did feel it, didn't he? He did have to go off at the Etihad. There was a rumour about him on social media that spread like wildfire that he was injured. I mean, if you did look yesterday, he actually had a flesh-coloured bandage on his hand, didn't he? So maybe there's something that had happened there, but it obviously didn't. I think it's going to take more than that to stop him from playing. He was given a bit of Beddarek a bit of stick, wasn't he? There was a bit of a pushing going on.
Love it. Love it. Get a bit salty, get a bit, tasty in there. It's good. I like that type of thing. And
that Fernandez was a bit of a shithouse, wasn't he? He kept going down in a kind of sniped fashion.
Early doors, Karius got pulled up for a foul on our mate Flynn Downs. And I don't think it was a foul. Not one bit. But referee, got a comment in the chat from Rob Holmes. He says, please, could we go without that referee, Allison, for a few weeks? Truly awful, in Rob's opinion. Had him twice so far this season.
Well,
he was
the ref at Man City, wasn't he? But only because the original ref got injured in the warm-up.
I thought he was all right. He was consistent. Like, there were bad decisions, but he made bad decisions for both sides. Like, there was just a consistency of.
If you want someone to be consistently bad, then be for both sids, please. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't be inconsistent with your bad choices. Right, I'm going to drop a link in a second. We've got lots that we've want to hear from you. We've got obviously that front four or front three, really. Not.
What did you make of Cahoust? What did everyone make of Cahoust yesterday? I mean, when we had Danny on from the Napoli fan club in North America, he did say he might make a Premier League start in September. Might be ready then. And it was forced upon him yesterday, wasn't it? Do you think we missed Phillips yesterday? Right?
Yes, and that's not a negative on Karius at all. Phillips is a player that, you know, we've been talking about last couple of weeks, Matt. He's growing. We spoke with Martin midweek. And by the way, you were on Martin's show as well, and that was fantastic. When I stop and listen to a show, you know it's good. So credit there, Matt. That was really good. Well done for doing that. But he's growing. So it was a real disappointment to see that he got a slight injury. You know, meant he couldn't play. We missed him. But we missed him because of who he is and what he can bring. Karius was, again, a good start. But I want to focus for a minute on just somebody. If you think about this person, you just instantly smile, right? It's somebody who had, you know, has been with us from League One to the Championship, had obviously a little bit of a conversation with our own fans around Valentine's Day at Bristol Rovers.
That game again.
Yeah. But he's now scored in all 3 divisions. He's gone on the journey with us. He's a man. He's a leader. He's everything you want as the face of your football club. It is, of course, Sam Morsy. And I don't think I did him justice with that introduction. There's so much more you could say about our skipper. And talk to me about his performance yesterday and that goal, because if anyone could have scored at 95th and deserved it, for me, it would have been him. Just what a journey and what a man. It
was like the goal on Boxing Day against Leicester, wasn't it? You know, we're 1 down. We're in the 95th minute. We're desperate to get a point, and it was almost a replica of that, wasn't it? Look, it was lucky. Look, unless you shoot, you ain't going to score, and he does shoot. Takes a massive deflection off that Aribo, doesn't it? And goes unsavable, straight into that top corner. And the scenes for all those Town fans again.
Oh, no. Ramsdale should save that. Oh, yeah. I can hear some fans saying Ramsdale should save that. I'm sure it's like that Pompey free kick. Ramsdale should save that.
It was brilliant to see all the, because as Martin Sanders was telling us off the Southampton pod, the away fans have moved from behind the goal that we were attacking in the first half to that right side of the goal.
Some great videos, by the way, if you haven't seen them.
Really good. Videos. Yeah, really good. Again, they were fantastic, the Ipswich fan. Show me, but look, if we got 3 points for away support, we'd be top of the league with Liverpool right now, wouldn't we? Tremendous. And again, look, Morsy, I guess. I mean, what else can we say that we've not said already? I said on Martin's show on the Southampton pod, you know, it's very easy for that second midfielder that plays alongside Morsy to fall into his shadow because he's such a leader to us in, like everyone is saying, as Colin's saying now, you know, like a Mick Mills, a Matty Holland, Butcher, going way back there, Colin Baxter. But yes, he's cut from that. He's cut from that cloth. He's fashioned from that stone. You know, I think losing probably Phillips late on in the week, because there was no kind of rumour around that, was there? I think the lap rumour was the one that was doing the rounds, but there was no rumour around.
I hate rumours.
Injured. Yeah, I know you do. I mean, I could hear your voice actually saying, until we see the team sheet, don't believe it. Yeah.
They do my nut right in. Yeah. Don't worry about things you can't control, right?
Yeah. So I think probably they'd been preparing for the game as Morsy and Phillips to be the 2 in there, and then suddenly you get an injury late in the week, or whatever it might be. Sounded like it from what McKenna had said, maybe the Thursday to Friday, and suddenly Cahoos has got to come in. I mean, I think what Cahoos, very quickly, what Cahoos brings you slightly different attributes, doesn't he, to Phillips? He certainly looks very much quicker. He certainly seems to be more of a box-to-box style midfielder than what Phillips is, who's more of a pulling the strings kind of thing. Morsy falls between the 2 a little bit, I think.
Kai's very good, by the way. He's very good. You can see the flashes and the technical ability.
Yeah, playing in the top flight in Italy. He's someone who needs games under his belt, really, to because you're just parachuting him in against, like, you know, cameos off the bench, or an hour he got against Wimbledon, which is, you know, League 2 team, and then suddenly, you know, he gets catapulted in yesterday. But I mean, thank God Morsy isn't one. Touch wood, fingers crossed for the rest of the season. He would be a real huge miss for us if there was a run of games there that we were to lose him.
I agree. But then you got Jack Taylor, who came on and did very well as well. So
he did, actually, to be fair to him, but there's been huge question marks around him, hasn't there? And people were saying he should go out on loan.
You wouldn't want to lose Morsy, of course. That's not me saying, oh, you know, you got Jack Taylor waiting in the wings. You can afford to have not have Morsy for a game or 2. Absolutely not. And there's talk about Morsy. Would he be in the team? And I've said it, at least for this season, certainly he'll be an ever-present person in our team, because he's the heartbeat. And you know, yesterday again, you can be a captain, you can be vocal captain, you can be a whole manner of different leadership qualities. But one of the biggest leadership qualities that isn't spoken about is that when big moments come, It's your name, it's your face, it's you that are the one in that moment. Leicester at home, you know, you need something, you need it desperately. Who's there to come up big for your team? Who's dragging the side over the line? It's Sam Morsy. Yesterday, in that moment when you need something, you know, and those things don't just happen. The ball falls to him, but those things don't just happen by chance. It happens it happens too often to be right place, right time. This is a man that literally, when his team needs him, drags them at times, like yesterday, over to where they need to go. And just seeing his face, seeing the passion afterwards, what it meant to him. You can't help but literally fall in love with Sam Morsy. Just can't help but fall in love with him.
Yeah, we hoped when we signed him, didn't we, that he would sort of go on to be a really great captain for us, and so it's proved, like you say, he's now scored in all three divisions. Just tremendous. I mean, let's think back to last season, the goal at Watford that got us the 2-1 win at Vicarage Road. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a pattern of play, isn't it? Because we've seen it against Leicester, edge of the box, last Garth's corner, ball comes in, shoots, and we saw it again yesterday. I mean, let's give props to Hurst, by the way. It's his header that forces Ramsdale to tip the ball over that fashions the corner that we score from. So it's good to see him coming back in it. There's still a question mark against him whether or not he's going to be good enough in that position for us.
He's one game into a season. If we talk about the three behind the striker earlier in the show, if you discount the first two games to being 3 games into a season, he's more or less one game into a season. It's far too early to call on him.
It is. It was good to, I mean, albeit against Southampton, right? So they was Football League of this last season. But, you know, you don't lose the instinct, do you? The ball comes in, he's there for the header. Darren Ambrose on the American commentary felt he should have done better. I mean, I thought it was a good header. It was a decent-ish save, but it gets us the corner and we score from it, and happy days. We get the point. Yeah,
the goal caught me off guard because I was head down writing out the 3-word review tweets and all that stuff. And I'd written, you know, following today's 1-0 defeat to Southampton. And then obviously they get the corner, I look up and then I'll just go mad and I've got to change everything from being 1-0 defeat to 1-1 draw and all of that. So, and again, it was Leicester. I did the exact same thing. I was writing the tweets, you know, 1-0 defeat, and it's just Sam Morsy, man.
Pulling a point back from what looks like a defeat is last minute is a great feeling because it feels like you've got something out of the game, haven't you? And it's tremendous.
Daniel Hill, by the way, that says, and this is a big call, and I feel they're level, right? I feel that if it's a race, this was a race. Wow. Morsy is certainly pulled up on the horse, Matt Holland, but they're level still for me. And Daniel says Morsy's ahead of Matt Holland for me in terms of captains during Daniel's time. Now I think Daniel's probably a gentleman in his mid-20s, maybe early 20s. So you know he's only ever really seen Holland, unlike Colin, who's another viewer of ours who's seen a lot of captains. But where in that conversation before I bring in Phil Blundell, where is Morsy in that race with? Who for me is the best captain since
I actually thought about it. I'm now thinking about it. Yeah, he could be right there, you know. I mean, certainly, like just for Luke Chambers, right? Went on, was he in our top 10 appearances? He was captain for us in very choppy waters when we was in the doldrums. We were going nowhere. It looked like we were going to League Two under the Evans campaign. Who knows what might have happened? Could have done a Stockport, gone into non-league. Who knows?
No, they're all right now, Stockport.
Well, it got done yesterday, 4-1 against Orient, I think. But yes, they are doing well. And it's good to see. Old school club. So you got that kind of captain. And then Morsy has come in where we've kind of transitioned from that era of the doldrums into something that has just gone like Concord. You know, speed of light, League One, straight into the Premier League. And he will forever go down in history as someone who captained the side on the pitch throughout that era. So we think back to Matty Holland as someone who got us promoted at Wembley. Then he played in the Premier League for us and represented us at World Cups and represented us in Europe, you know, in the San Siro against Inter Milan, all those huge moments, the win over Inter in the Portman Road, great moments. Yeah, I agree with this. I think Morsy is on the level. Yeah, just because of the success we've seen in such quick fashion over the last couple of years. So really over the last two and a half years. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Rob Holmes, even though we drew in context, that would be a big confidence boost going into Villa. Right, we've played some added on time, but it is half time. Matt, as it's half time, what do the people at home have to do?
FTA. For the algorithm, we want you to like and subscribe as well, so you'll never miss a Talking Town or a Talking Knockouts and we do another boxing show, whatever it might be, you'll get the notifications.
Talking Formula One, all sorts of shows. And don't forget, we are also partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes, £2 a bingo card. And every time you play, you do support the crucial work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance, which I'm sure we can all agree is an absolute crucial service, is the East Anglian Air Ambulance. That's Match Bingo, play Match Bingo, win cash prizes, over 18s only, be gamble aware. And of course, Stowmarket Osteopaths. Just to finish my read, as from earlier, Matt, because you cut across me.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
Sorry,
poor Freddie, he'll be sat there, he'll be working some patient listening to us, and he'll go, hang on, got at least save a phone number. It's 01449 613 633. Stowmarket Osteopaths. Don't live life in pain, Matt. Don't live life in pain.
You don't live your life in pain. That's miserable.
I know. I live it every single day. That's why I go see Freddie. That's how I know it's a good service. And I've got Shane coming around, look at a bit of a building work for me. So we promote stuff that we have got experience with here. Except Manscaped. When I promoted Manscaped, I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I never used Manscaped, so I couldn't tell if it was any good or not. But they're all in the loft, the boxes, by the way. I know you and Rich, you do need one. Next time I see Rich, I'll give him his, and I know I need to get you your Manscaped box. But they are in the loft. They are in the loft.
We won't be. You said you were going to do a day in the life of Martin vlogging at the Stowmarket.
Whoa! I ain't vlogging that.
We ain't doing the Manscaped vlog.
Not a chance. YouTube would take us down, Matthew. How outrageous. Yeah. So we've got Ancient Tractor Boy. It says, we've only played 2 games on any level of possession. It would take more time for the new 5 or 6 outfield players who are starting to click. Ancient Tractor Boy also says 3 out of our 5 games have been at Rourke's Drift. Is that right, Matt? Am I reading that right?
Rourke's Drift was the famous Zulu film. Michael Caine's in it. Rourke's Drift. They're under siege.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he means. Yeah.
Never seen it. Batsman of fire, great for our defensive development. Possession will improve as the new players integrate. Season starts in November. I've never seen that.
Never seen Zulu. It's good. Michael Caine, young Michael Caine, plays Bromhead. Yeah,
way before my time. Way before my time.
It's a good film. It's really good.
Space Jam's more my thing.
Yeah, it's a kind of different genre to that one, I would say.
I mean, yeah, that's how young I am in the sense of that's probably one of the first films I can remember. But no, it's been a fantastic show. I love hearing from people when they click the link, and because what I love about this about what we do here, Matt, and I'm going to blow my own trumpet a little bit, but what I love about it is that you give people the chance to have their opinion and really go behind it. Like, you don't always agree with it. And you got a bit of that on the Match Reaction show yesterday, like Frank there, for example, not being a huge fan of the lap, whereas I am. But I love the fact people want to come and put their name, their face, their whole being to that opinion. So that's what I love about it. Like, if you're going to say something, don't type it on behind a screen. Actually own that opinion.
Own the opinion. Yeah, absolutely. And it's all down to the one common goal, is to see if you stay in the Premier League for next season. That's what we all want to see. That's what we're all shooting for.
And if I was right and Frank was wrong, or if you were right and I was wrong, I wouldn't be sat here doing a podcast. I'd be sat in the dugout next to McKenna. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're just fans basically in the pub talking about football.
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed it. Bears play this evening. Hopefully they don't ruin my. I saw a great meme yesterday. The Simpsons. You've got Homer and Bart, and it's the caption, "Nobody ruins my weekend." And then the next slide says, "Maybe except the boy." And then the face of the boy isn't Bart; it's like the Bears logo. And I was like, "That's so true. That's so true."
Are they playing tonight? Who have they got tonight?
The Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, okay.
6 p.m.
Good luck with that one, then. Good luck.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for being with me.
Thanks
for your thoughts. Thanks for your thoughts at home. Join us again on Wednesday for our match preview show as we build up to Aston Villa at home, live on Sky. But until then, like, comment, join us on Discord. If you're not yet a member on YouTube, hit the join, $4.99, cancel at any point, and then you can come over and have a great conversation about ITFC on Discord. More perks are coming, by the way, for our members. There's a little teaser for you. Whether you're a new member or an existing member, a few more perks are heading your way. So sign yourself up, cancel at any point. But he has been the mogul, Matthew Phillips. I've been the Gov, Martin Lambert. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.